Hi everyone, Jeremy Reynolds here from Alpha Finance Solutions and the Getting Started in Finance course, which is an absolutely awesome course I run for brokers who want to be in the top 20%, and you do get snippets of that information from where I'm speaking now. But what I want to do is talk to the mums and dads, the business owners, the property investors, the first home buyers, realistically anyone that's looking at getting their home loan looked at or could get their home loan looked at. Great to see you online there as well. And a topic that I have is close to my heart, and I'm going to expand on it so it doesn't just seem purely generic. I'm going to really have some controversy within this, but I like to be as transparent as I can in business and with everyone of my clients, and I believe it's the only way to run an ethical business, and the best way to build trust with people is to be upfront and frank. And it's great that the industry and ASIC reflect this, and it's where they're wanting other brokers to go. So I'm going to let you know where and some of the problems that we're facing. So in my series that I've been publishing online through live videos and on YouTube and different avenues, I've been talking about the role of the best mortgage broker that you can have is to help you save money, to help you pay off your loan sooner, to have a vested interest in both your immediate, mid-term, long-term goals. In other words, making sure that they don't have their interests at stake. So not just saying, well, let's get you a loan, because that's an outcome, but that's a catalyst to you owning your own property. So we want you to pay for your loan as soon as possible. Now, one of the other topics I've been talking about in my different series, is talking about the dangers of LMI, which is lender's mortgage insurance. Premiums of insurance that you can pay if your home loan, if you're borrowing more than 80% of the value of the home loan, that you need to then be assessed as a higher risk client or loan, and therefore you need to pay for the insurance for the bank, the lender's mortgage insurance. So because you're viewed as a risk or a liability to them, you need to pay for their insurances, and it's not for you. But I want to tie this with another concept today. And if you check through many of my different pages, you'll see me talking about ethical business and talking about property spruikers. Now, what's a property spruiker? Who is that? You can Google it, you'll see a lot on there. Or just come and watch my videos. There's people out there that sell properties. Good, we all need somewhere to live. People want to invest. Excellent, it's great to see people investing somewhere. But let's talk bigger picture than that. There's some dangers with which property investor group that you use, what they're saying, and more so here, their relationship with the mortgage brokers. So, first and foremost, in ethical business, I'm going to show you a rule in my business, and it's actually an industry rule as well, is that the mortgage broker needs to put you in either a better financial situation that can be demonstrated through saving you money, for instance, getting you the finance you need for an outcome which you're looking for, but better than that, they should be looking at saving you money. Now, let's talk about Mr. and Mrs. Client. Mr. and Mrs. Client own their own property, own their home. They've got some finance against it at the moment, and they're going to draw out some equity in that. In other words, take out another loan because the property's gone up in value and they've paid off some of their home to look at getting their first investment property. But they don't know much about properties. They don't know much about investments. So they go to a property investment expert. Now there's a danger here. They find out that this property investor is also a mortgage broker. That's right, it's the same person. To them, they see that as value. Well, okay, my broker's going to offer me an investment property. Excellent, I'm thrilled that that one person can do everything for me. Now they work it out, they get this lovely place, wherever it may be, locally, interstate. You know, they talk to them about potentially, the yield that it could get, how it's going to be geared, all these different things, which they may not be able to comment on based on their qualifications. They're not an accountant, and they're talking about being a suitable investment. Now, I don't want to talk about the investment side. I want to talk about the bias, the partiality, and the absolute conflict of interest if you're talking with a mortgage broker who is also that also does property investment. So here's the first thing. Why would that person be doing property investment? They're getting paid. Sometimes it's quite substantial commissions, tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, thousands of dollars worth of commission involved for that person. So if the broker's doing that and they're getting these high levels of commissions, 10, 20, $30,000 worth of commission, this is going to cause the borrower to have to borrow more. Particularly borrow more. They're only having to borrow a higher number. In this case, let's say they're borrowing $30,000 more because the mortgage broker is being paid that as a commission. So where does that money come from? So the broker getting paid by either direct from these different groups or getting paid from a property investment group, doesn't matter. How's the client forking out the bill for this? It's coming out of the loan proceeds. So upon settlement, most likely they're getting paid. The property investor's getting paid, or the broker, who's both in this case, is getting paid. Now, how much does this loan actually cost the client? One thing that's never put into consideration is the percentage lend of this. So I want to talk about this client has now drawn out some equity and they're having to do a 90% lend. They don't mind because they've been given what they believe to be impartial advice by their broker. That's great, I can get the deal. Focus on getting them the best rate in this situation, as opposed to telling them how to save the most money. Now, this can be helpful to learn how to save the most money in the loan as well as outside the loan. So the number one thing I always tell people, what's the best way to save money on your home loan? If a purchase is involved, get the property for less money. How can someone get the property for less money if there's a conflict of interest that they're actually getting paid from the sale of that property or the construction of that property? So needless to say, most people are completely oblivious to this. So now this person has potentially had to borrow $30,000 more than necessary. Now let's say that it's $10,000 more, just to have a more light approach with this. But it's that amount of money which has put the loan over 80%. Now, because the loan now is over 80%, Mr. and Mrs. Client are going to have to pay lender's mortgage insurance, or LMI. Now, this premium can be somewhere, but depending on the size of the loan, it could be somewhere between $7,000 to $20,000. How they're paying for that out of their loan. So as a consequence of there being the bias by this broker that he's profiting from the sale of that property, the client has been inconvenienced by, first of all, borrowing more money to compensate for the mortgage broker's commission. And second of all, in addition to that, is having to pay lender's mortgage insurance. Because of that extra money, they're having to borrow above the 80%. And again, the Mr. and Mrs. Client are completely unaware, because it's a similar mindset that people think they get in that, I just want to get the home of my dreams, therefore I'll do whatever it takes, as long as that they're so focused on someone being able to get them the loan that they don't have the awareness that there's other factors. Likewise, when people are going, well, we've achieved that outcome, we've achieved the first goal of getting our own house. We never thought it was possible. We had to explain that we can get an investment property as long as someone can get the deal done. It's great because it's an investment. It's going to work out great for us. Yeah, but it's an investment that could have cost you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 more than it should. So let me bring a few of these concepts together for you. A mortgage broker, and in this case an Alpha Finance Solutions mortgage broker, needs to represent you, the client, solely, and your best interests. They should be looking at every avenue where they can save you money, and there should not be any conflicts of interest involved. It is best practice that in these cases you have the conversations with the broker, which are petitioned off, completely separate, completely really isolated to helping you with your home loan in this case, or your investment loan, to work out potential costs. Now, first of all, one of the questions that we will be asking you is, okay, what is the value, what's the maximum we can get you to borrow without paying lender's mortgage insurance? This way, we'll be looking at your borrowing capacity, we'll be looking at your repayments, so you're not having to fork out extra money to pay the bank's insurance. Now, someone that's also a property spruiker isn't going to do that, because what they're going to do is they're going to try and they're creating a problem. They've created a problem by you need to spend more, and I'm getting paid around the side, or summing up by someone else in this as well. And you know what? The real money's in me getting a commission from the property investment. So as long as I get you the deal done, that doesn't matter. How scary is that? Further to this, though, let's talk about one of the basic concepts that an Alpha Finance Solutions mortgage broker will do. Let's show you how to pay for your loan sooner. Going through all those things about making regular repayments, paying for greater principal over the period of time. That's all well and good if then you're not paying extra expenses. Yeah, let's pay for your loan sooner, but hey, it's because of me, because I'm getting commission, that you're having to pay more for your loan. And I'm going to, in reality, because I'm going to get a kickback, I'm going to add 2, 3, 4, 5 years to your loan. So which brings in another issue. Not only are you borrowing a greater amount, you're paying lender's mortgage insurance, because the loan has been drawn out for a longer time, you're paying greater interest, because for every dollar that you're paying principal on, you will also be paying interest. Your interest charges now have gone up substantially. So it's absolutely imperative that that working with an Alpha mortgage broker, Finance Solutions mortgage broker, that you understand the concept, that we represent you. We do not get paid commissions by any property investment group, and we refuse to. Also, any dollar that you need to spend outside of commissions, we document for you in a document called a quote. We'll tell you the maximum expenses. We even need to let you know if there would or ever be, which most likely there wouldn't be, any money changing hands between anyone, even if it's not coming out of your pocket directly. We've got the confidence to do this, to have this complete transparency and have this ethical approach, because we know that this is what creates long-term clients. We're not in it for the short term to get you the loan. We're there to help you own your own home, to have a secure and exciting and flourishing future. And just to put into the mix here as well, when any of our clients that are looking at buying investment properties, we would also direct them to an accountant, in this case FAB accountants, who are paid fee for service. There's no commission, no benefit from if or not they do that service for you, to make sure that the accounting is right on this investment property to work for you, and likewise put you with a financial, make sure that you've got the impartial legal advice as well. In many cases we use Damien O'Day lawyers, so he can give the unbiased, impartial direction on that. And then further to that, make sure that this does fit in with a financial planning strategy, and it's not just, and it is for the benefit of you immediately, short-term, long-term, as opposed to going to benefit directly to the broker. Hopefully you've appreciated this. These can be contentious topics that most brokers don't even want to talk about. Why? Because they may not be doing anything wrong, but they're absolutely not doing anything to solve this problem and can make it escalate. So please give me a call if you believe you've been put in this situation, or if you're saying, well, I would just like the impartial advice in this case. I'd like to work with a group that doesn't have those connections, and that way we can help you save the most money possible on your home loan, your investment loan for that matter, and create a safe and secure future and your financial needs working with the right financial experts. I'm Jeremy Reynolds, and I look forward to helping in the future. Further to this, please watch this space, watch our pages. There is some blogs on these topics going out, and there's some great ASIC articles as well. So what I'm saying is you can check for yourself that it's matching everything that ASIC is looking at and doing to protect you, the consumers. Thank you.